Hello everyone, I'm Cindy King. I'm inviting everyone today. It's a special moment for myself as well as for my channel. We'll be discussing about Alpha Woman today. Over the years, I have a good pleasure to be learning with Ernst Willem, and he's intelligent, thoughtful, kind, entertaining personality. I use his astrology software and found him to be wealth of knowledge as well, more like a Tour de France in Vedic astrology. The reason why I call him the kingpin because he's actually a scholar. Other astrologers use his material. He actually nails it every astrology, whatever I have learned throughout the years. I am willing to give my lunch money to take his course, and let's keep it real. I trust you enjoy him and what he has to offer. He's truly a great person and humble and a real love for astrology. Not only that, he has a beautiful family, 3 wonderful kids, and a lovely wife, and a big passion for carbon bikes. So let's welcome Ernst Willem and let's blow their minds away.
Okay, hi there, Cindy. Nice to see you. So, I guess you want to talk about Alpha Woman.
Yes, we do.
That's just such a big topic because there's really so many reasons women might be an Alpha Woman. They might, through circumstances, get pushed into being an Alpha Woman, like a single mom who has like no choice but to take control and make life happen. Or it might just be because her personality drives her into that, where she just has a burning need to prove herself and a burning need to be on top and get a lot done. And the problem Alpha women are always facing, though, is having a good relationship. And, you know, that's just such a difficult thing. But let me sort of explain first in the charts what we would sort of look at to define an Alpha woman and what kind of Alpha woman we have, okay? We get an Alpha woman with some really strong, what we call success yogas in the chart, combinations that are going to just indicate she has the fate to be in a powerful, important position and a bigger mover and shaker in the world. And that combined with like a strong sun and a strong first house, just is going to make her like a natural leader type person. And that kind of Alpha woman usually has it easier. Good chance she's going to sacrifice a lot of the smaller things in life, like any leader usually has to. You know, people who do the bigger things, work on the bigger projects, they pay a big price for that, whether they're male or female. And one of the prices those people often pay is the price of their relationships and the time spent in their relationships. So in that regard, there's really not much difference between a man who's really trying to get things done and making a lot of sacrifices to get there. Okay? Those type of women we don't really see coming into our office that much, though. Like, I don't get a lot of women with those kind of things. Why? Well, because they're busy, they're doing what they're meant to, they're manifesting the life that they're meant to, they're making important things happen in the world. Then there's the Alpha kind of women who really aren't Alpha types. They're sort of thrown into Alpha type roles. I think those are the ones we're sort of more familiar with.
Yes.
And, you know, it's kind of hard to wear someone else's shoes. And that's effectively what happens to these type of Alpha women. And these type of Alpha women, in their charts, what we can see is they'll tend to have afflictions to their moon. They'll tend to have afflictions to their 4th house, which is the feeling house in the horoscope. They might have some afflictions to the 1st house, too. But what all these afflictions do, they put a pressure and a weight on the person that makes her really just not feel that good about herself as a woman. And what do I mean by that? Do I mean when she looks in the mirror that she goes, yuck? No, that's not exactly what I mean, although it can include that. What I mean is she doesn't just feel innately that she's worth a lot of wonderful things. So she doesn't just recognize her own inherent value of the fact that she's a woman. You know, everyone has an intrinsic value, right? We have an intrinsic value whether we're the president or a guy on the street. And that intrinsic value is that all of us, no matter what position, what place in life we have, the intrinsic value we have is God is having a unique experience through us. So if God's being, you know, George Bush, he's having a unique experience as being a bumbling president. You know, then there's a guy on the street, as George Bush's, you know, limo goes by who's begging for a few dollars. Well, God's having a unique experience through that poor person too. So the intrinsic value of everyone is that God's having a unique experience through everybody. And so that's an equal experience, okay? And it's our female side in both men and women that just understand that what we are is a beautiful thing. And we don't really know why we understand that. If we have good moons and stuff, we just understand it. But the reason is because God's having a unique experience through us. So whether we move up the ladder or we move down the ladder in life, it's not that big a deal, okay? But you get someone who has an afflicted moon and or afflicted fourth house, they're not feeling comfortable in their unique experience. And they don't see how they're wonderful right where they are all the time, no matter what they're doing. And out of that comes this need to try to prove themselves and to do more and to push more. And so a lot of alpha women will come from that background, not feeling good about just their intrinsic value, their intrinsic worth, and realizing they're a wonderful being just as they are. And not feeling that, they get prompted into activity and doing, and being busy, as an act of compensation. And all those things they do are saying, hey, I'm trying to prove myself here. I'm going to prove that I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of adoration, that I have value. And it becomes this big compensatory effort. Those type of alpha women can have a lot of trouble in their relationships because, in essence, they're running away from their female side, which is the passive, receptive, still side that recognizes its intrinsic worth and therefore feels, yeah, the whole world can give me everything and I'm worth having everything. That type of alpha woman doesn't feel that. She has to deserve everything, earn everything, pay for everything. But that's not true. That's her male side talking now. Okay?
Yeah.
So those type of women obviously going to have a lot of tough times in relationships. Okay? And we'll talk about that more, I think.
Yeah.
Then there's a kind of alpha woman that sort of gets thrown into the role. Okay, and this type of alpha woman can have any kind of, you know, a good moon, a bad moon, it depends. But what she has in her chart, she has factors in her chart that show she just attracts loser men.
Yeah.
Okay, and loser men, as much losers as they can be, there's still going to be two things that they can do to every woman they meet, okay? They can get that woman bonded to them by having sex with them.
Yeah.
And they can get the woman pregnant, okay? So even the most loser men, there's still one part of his body that unfortunately will get the job done, right?
Yeah.
His wiener. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
it's
totally.
unfortunate that loser men are not impotent. That would be a good thing, but they're not. Everything works just like it's supposed to biologically.
Agreed.
So they can still get a woman bonded to sex, right? They can still get a woman pregnant. And so all of a sudden we have a woman who's stuck in situations in her life where she has to take care of someone she thinks she loves, but who she's really bonded to because he's a loser. And she's pregnant or maybe single and with children, but that's going to be an eventuality. She has a family to take care of. She has her own pack. So now she has to become an alpha woman because he's not even going to be a beta male, okay?
Yeah, it's true.
And that's, you know, and that's really unfortunate. We see that in the horoscope if we see problems with Jupiter in their charts,
yeah.
or a problem with their 7th house factors, where they just somehow, the only guys they ever get involved with are guys that end up being very disappointing to them.
Yeah.
Okay? So we basically have 3 types of alpha women. So I can't just say, well, what an alpha woman needs to do to have a great love life is find a guy with this kind of stuff in his chart and do this, because there's 3 kinds of alpha women, yeah. Right? Okay, let's take the easy alpha woman first, okay? The easy alpha woman is the woman whose dharma, whose innate life is just to be a shaker and a mover, to do big things in the world. And she's got the powerful yogas and she's got the strong sun, but she doesn't have afflictions to her female side. She just has, let's say, a bigger destiny, okay? And so she's going to have problems with men because men, while they'll look up to her at first and go, wow, what an amazing person. And they'll, because of thinking that, they'll actually want to be with her because everyone wants to be with an amazing person. But then as they get closer to him, most men, their male egos are going to be going, wait a minute, she's more important than me in the world. She's making more money than me in the world. And she's not available when I want her to, when I want to play with her. So one of the things men like, they like a woman who's available when they want her. That's a male quality, right? Exactly. Whereas female quality is, I can adapt, I can change, I could change my schedule, I can be there when you need me. That's a feminine side of our natures. But men, we like our woman there when we want them there. And then we want to go do what we have to do when we got to go do it.
Yeah.
So when you get a man all of a sudden with this alpha woman who's got important things to do, likely bigger things to do,
yeah,
how's she going to, be with this guy who wants her when he wants her and who also feels a little threatened over the fact that, wow, she's more important than me and so on. Okay? And the other thing that happens is that women tend to bond more when they receive more, and men bond more in a relationship when they invest more time, energy, and money and give more in the relationship. So we got this really super powerful, alpha woman who's usually going to be wealthy and successful. She has the capacity to give a lot more to the man than the man has to give to him. Yeah. Her car's going to be more fun to drive. Her penthouse is going to be the nicer one to spend the night, right?
Yes.
All these things. And so after a while, the male ego, he can get a little threatened. So the key for that kind of alpha woman, she kind of has two ways she can have a relationship. She can say, okay, I'm going to go get a loser man, and he can be my toy. When I snap my fingers, he'll be there because he's got nothing going on. But that won't really work because she won't respect that guy. Even if he's super cute and endearing in some ways, a lot of the time she's going to be frustrated because she just won't be able to really respect that guy.
Yeah.
Okay? So the only option she has is to get what I call an 11 relationship, where she's strong in her path and her individuality, and she's not needy at all. And then she meets a guy who's strong in his path and in his individuality, and he's not needy either. So this kind of alpha woman needs to be psychologically healthy, and she has to meet a psychologically healthy guy. And she needs to, if she's feeling a little needy and she gets hurt by men, she needs to grow out of that, and she just can't be needy. It won't work. Okay. And she has to find a man who's her equal, essentially. And that can be hard to find. So for those type of women, really the number one thing is, all right, let's look at your chart and see when the wait is over, because you're going to have to be patient and wait to find someone who's an equal partner and who ideally is an equal partner in your world, perhaps, because then you can be alphas together and doing the same type of things. And that can be a really nice combination.
Yeah.
Like Hillary.
Guys, that's such a great interview. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and comment.